Every time you press this pedal, you are doing something insane. Inside a metal machine, thousands of tiny explosions are happening every minute. Metal parts are moving with precision you can't even see, and energy is being converted into motion instantly. And yet to you, it just feels like driving. So here's the real question: how does a car actually work? Not what it does, but what is happening inside it every single second you're on the road. Cars are so normal in our lives that we stopped questioning them. We sit inside them, we travel in them, we race them. We depend on them, but the truth is, a car is not just transportation. It is a controlled explosion system, a precision mechanical network, and a real-time energy conversion machine. By the end of this video, you will understand how engines create motion from fuel, how wheels actually get power, what makes cars move, stop, and turn, how modern cars think, and why electric cars are changing everything. Let's start from where it all began. The origin story of cars. Before cars existed, the fastest thing humans had was a horse. And that created a limit. Animals get tired, need food, and can only carry so much force. So humans asked a simple question: what if we replace muscle with machines? That question led to steam engines. The age of steam. Before gasoline engines ruled the roads, there was steam. Long before the roar of V8 and the hum of electric motors, inventors were already experimenting with the idea of self-propelled vehicles powered by boiling water. And it all began in 1769. French engineer Nicolas Joseph Cugnot built what is widely considered the world's first self-propelled mechanical vehicle. Known as the Fardier Vapor, this massive three-wheeled machine was designed to haul artillery for the French military. But there was a problem. Its giant copper boiler could only sustain motion for about 15 minutes before it needed to stop and rebuild steam pressure. And with a top speed of just 2.5 miles per hour, it was hardly practical, yet it marked the birth of mechanized transportation. Throughout the early 19th century, inventors across Britain continued refining steam technology. By the 1820s and 1830s, steam-powered stagecoaches were already transporting passengers. For a moment, it seemed as though steam vehicles would dominate the future. But politics and regulation had other plans. In 1865, Britain introduced the infamous Red Flag Act. The law required every steam vehicle to be accompanied by a person walking in front carrying a red flag. But steam wasn't finished. By the late 19th century, steam automobiles entered what historians often call their golden age. Among the most famous were the machines built by twins Francis Edgar Stanley and Freelan Oscar Stanley, founders of the Stanley Motor Carriage Company. Their vehicles were remarkably smooth and almost silent. Unlike early gasoline engines that vibrated violently, steam engines delivered power effortlessly. They produced tremendous torque and climbed hills with ease. In fact, steam cars became so successful that around the turn of the 20th century, nearly half of all vehicles sold in the United States were steam-powered. And in 1906, a Stanley steamer shocked the world. It reached an astonishing speed of 127 miles per hour, setting a land speed record that seemed impossible at the time. Yet despite their impressive performance, steam cars faced a problem that engineering alone could not easily solve. Time. Before every journey, drivers had to wait 20 to 30 minutes for the boiler to reach operating pressure. And once underway, steam engines consumed enormous amounts of water, requiring frequent stops for refills. Meanwhile, gasoline cars were rapidly improving. The invention of the electric starter eliminated the dangerous hand crank. and mass production, pioneered by the Ford Model T, made gasoline vehicles cheaper, safer, and easier to own. Gradually, steam automobiles disappeared from the roads. Today, steam cars survive mostly in museums and collector events. But their legacy lives on because these strange machines proved something revolutionary. Humans no longer had to rely on horses, and without those early steam experiments, the automobile revolution that transformed our world might never have happened. The rise of gasoline. While steam-powered vehicles were fighting against time and water, another invention was quietly preparing to reshape civilization. Unlike steam engines, which relied on boiling water to create pressure, these new machines would harness controlled explosions directly inside the engine itself. And with that idea, the age of gasoline began. The European pioneers. The story began in Europe during the late 19th century. In the 1870s, Austrian inventor Siegfried Marcus experimented with crude hand carts powered by internal combustion engines. His machines were primitive and never reached commercial success, but they hinted at something revolutionary. A vehicle that could carry its own power source and move without horses. But the true breakthrough came in 1886. German engineer Carl Benz patented a strange-looking three-wheeled machine known as the Benz patent motor wagon. Powered by a single-cylinder four-stroke engine, it was unlike anything the world had seen before. No boiler, no horses, no rails. Just gasoline, air, and a controlled explosion inside a cylinder. Today, many historians regard it as the world's first true automobile, but Carl Benz wasn't alone. Just 3 years later, fellow Germans Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach built something even more ambitious. Instead of modifying horse carriages, they designed a four-wheeled vehicle from the ground up and introduced multi-cylinder engines. The foundations of the modern automobile were being laid. The first road trip.
Now, imagine you're back in the late 1800s when it was created. Putting it in motion was just the first challenge.
Back then, the streets were pretty nasty, and most of them weren't even cobblestone, they were just dirt and sand. And the second thing is, we Germans, we tend to be a bit skeptical when it comes to new stuff. Oh my God, what's that? Some were really afraid, some called it the devil's machine, witchcraft.
So this woman decided to prove that the horseless carriage was safe.
She was the first woman ever to ride this on a long distance trip. That was something totally new, never seen before. She was a curiosity with this thing, and they didn't expect a woman to be a pioneer like that.
Bertha Ringer's wealthy family were not very pleased when she decided to marry Carl Benz in 1872. At that point, he was an unsuccessful, poor inventor. But Bertha had faith in him. So much so that she even put down her dowry towards his work.
She was kind of an investor. She was owning the company, we would say today.
She's not just a faithful housewife that sat in the kitchen while he was in the workshop. She was together with him in the workshop. She got her hands dirty.
Es gibt eine Geschichte, dass mit den Zündspulen nicht richtig fertig wurde. Und da hat sie sogar ihre Nähmaschine geholt. Und mit dieser Nähmaschine wurden die Zündspulen gewickelt. Das wird ja immer wieder gesagt, hinter einem großen Mann muss eine starke Frau stehen. Sie stand nicht hinter ihm, sie stand eigentlich neben ihm.
And this is why we say not Carl Benz invented the automobile, but we always say the team, Carl and Bertha Benz.
In 1886, Carl Benz patented the first vehicle powered by a gas engine.
A kid wouldn't recognize this as a car. It's just got 3 wheels. Benz decided on purpose to use 3 wheels because it was easier to steer. As you can see, I can move it really easily.
Carl Benz had a permit to drive around Mannheim, where they lived, but Bertha wanted to push it further.
One morning in August 1888, she decided to take this vehicle on a test drive that took her around 100 kilometers to Pforzheim. She took her two sons, Eugen and Richard. They were 15 and 13 years of age. Carl, around 7 probably, awoke and he found a note on the kitchen table. "I'm gone with the kids to my parents." And first he thinks, oh, she's going to take the train. And then he notices, oh my God, the patent car is missing.
100 kilometers seems easy today, but when you don't have proper roads or navigation systems and can only go at 16 kilometers an hour, it was a true adventure.
Sie ist entlang an Bachläufen und an Bahnlinien gefahren, um sich überhaupt zu orientieren. Sie musste wirklich an jeder Kreuzung überlegen, fahre ich rechts, fahre ich links, fahre ich geradeaus.
The second problem was, if you drive the very first car in the world, it's really difficult to get gasoline, or ligrine as they called it back then.
Welcome to the first gas station here in Wiesloch.
This was the gas station. A pharmacy?
Is an original room which was visited by Bertha Benz in 1888, where she bought ligrine at those times. A pharmacist shop didn't need so much of gasoline. It was needed as a solvent for materials, but in lower quantities.
That meant Bertha had to make several stops at other pharmacies along the way. She also had to use her hairpin to unclog the carburettor and her garter to fix some electrical issues. And she even turned to a shoemaker to replace the worn-out leather straps of the brakes.
Alleine auf dieser Fahrt hat sie unendlich bewiesen, wie viel technisches Verständnis sie hatte.
From here, from Wiesloch, Bertha Benz drove south in the direction of Karlsruhe, and then she turned left into the mountains.
The engine, it has got 0.75 horsepower, that's basically a pony power, and the vehicle doesn't go uphill. So this is probably the reason why she took her two sons with her, because while she was steering, they had to push.
When Bertha came back, she said, "Carl, we need one more gear, a gear to go up the mountains." And she was very proud of this, because she found out another gear.
Bertha's successful journey did more than improve the car. It also gave Carl Benz the confidence to show his invention at the World's Fair in Paris in 1889.
Nach dieser Fahrt wurden tatsächlich dann Autos verkauft. Von dieser Fahrt sicher eine ganze Menge geholfen hat, dem Automobil zum Durchbruch zu verhelfen.
When Carl had this patented, he probably could have never imagined how his invention would change all of our lives all over the world. It started off as this really simple-looking three-wheeler and ended in luxury vehicles with V8, V12 engines, so powerful.
And today, we can use our modern cars to follow in Bertha's tracks. Her pioneering journey has been turned into a scenic memorial route through southwest Germany. And with luck, you might end up in Dr. Sucki's guest book when you visit the pharmacy in Wiesloch. As our crew did.
Bertha made the biggest difference. Without Bertha, Carl Benz, sorry Carl, he wouldn't have come that far.
The battle for the future. By the late 1890s, the roads became a battleground. Steam cars were powerful. Electric cars were quiet and clean, and gasoline cars. They were loud, dirty, and unreliable. Early gasoline engines leaked oil. They produced unpleasant odors, and starting them required a dangerous hand crank. If the engine backfired while cranking, it could violently snap backwards, sometimes breaking the driver's arm. Compared to smooth steam engines and elegant electric vehicles, gasoline cars seemed like the least attractive option. Many people believed they would never dominate. History had other plans. Henry Ford and the Model T.
Back in Detroit, Henry Ford wondered how he could bring the price of the Model T down to where everybody could buy it. He figured that the more cars he made and sold, the cheaper he could sell each one. And he went to work on this idea. In those days, each car was built from the frame up on stationary wooden horses. There was a different crew for each car, and the same crew stayed on the car until it was finished. That meant duplication of effort and a lot of time wasted. So they tried moving the men from car to car. Each man had a special job to do, and as soon as he finished it, he moved on to the next car and did the same thing there. That was better, but it still took 12.5 hours to assemble each Model T. Henry Ford watched it for a while, then he had an inspiration. Instead of moving the men past the cars, why not move the cars past the men? So on one hot August morning, they tried it that way. A husky young fellow put a rope over his shoulder, and Henry Ford called, "Let's go." And at that very moment, as the workmen began to fasten the parts onto the slowly moving car, the assembly line was born. A technique that was to revolutionize mass production all over the world. Once they found that the idea would work, they began to improve it, refine it. They rolled the chassis down a single line of track, pushing it from crew to crew. And the more expert they became at this new method, the faster the cars came off the assembly line, and the price of the Model T began to drop. They tried the same idea on all the various parts of the car and created what were called sub-assemblies. Each man on the line became a specialist. He did one thing, and he did it perfectly, then passed the work along to the next man. Minute by minute, production was winning the battle against wasted time and wasted effort. Parts were fed to the workmen by gravity slides so they wouldn't have to stop and wait for new parts. Then they put the parts on moving conveyor belts. And this was a great step forward because now they could regulate the flow of work and keep it moving at a constant rate of speed. And the conveyor belts grew longer and more complex as they moved the work from place to place in the huge shops. They became fantastic masterpieces of planning and engineering. But the battle against wasted time and wasted effort was being won. The cars began coming off the assembly line at the rate of 1 every 40 seconds. And what Henry Ford had foreseen happened. Mass production and the assembly line drove the price of the Model T down from $850 to $300. Now everybody could have one.
One invention changed everything. Despite its growing popularity, gasoline still had one major weakness. Starting the engine every morning, drivers had to wrestle with a hand crank. The process was difficult, dangerous, and inconvenient. Then, in 1912, engineer Charles Kettering introduced the electric starter for Cadillac. With the push of a button, engines came to life instantly. No hand cranks, no broken arms, no struggle. Suddenly, anyone could drive a gasoline car. And overnight, steam and electric vehicles lost one of their greatest advantages: building a gasoline world. As automobiles multiplied, the world itself began to change. Governments paved roads. Oil companies built filling stations, pipelines expanded. Mechanics appeared in towns and cities. Entire industries grew around the automobile. And with cheap petroleum offering incredible energy density, gasoline became the fuel of modern civilization. By the 1920s, the battle was over. Steam had faded, electric vehicles had nearly vanished, and gasoline-powered automobiles had conquered the world. Legacy? For more than a century, gasoline engines would dominate transportation. They powered family cars, race cars, trucks, aircraft, and entire economies. But perhaps the most remarkable thing is this. What started as noisy, unreliable experiments in the 1880s had become one of humanity's most influential inventions. And for the next 100 years, the world would run on gasoline. How a car works. Before we go deep, a car has 5 core systems. The power system, either engine or motor. The energy system, either fuel tank or battery. The transmission system, gear control. The control system, steering and electronics. And the movement system, wheels and suspension. Think of it like a living body. The engine is the heart. The fuel is the blood. The electronics makes up the brain, and the wheels are the legs. Everything must work together perfectly. Engine, the heart of the car.
The internal combustion engine. The engine works in 4 stages. First, a valve opens and the piston lowers, letting a mixture of fuel and air into the combustion chamber. Second, as it comes up, the piston compresses the fuel-air mixture. Third, a spark from the spark plug ignites the mixture, which pushes the piston down again. Fourth, the exhaust valve opens and as it comes up, the piston pushes the spent gases out. And the cycle starts over again. Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. The movement of the engine is transmitted to the wheels for the driver's delight.
Fuel system, the precision delivery.
The fuel supply system is a crucial part of your car that stores, filters, and delivers fuel to the engine. But it's far more than just a simple pipe running from the tank to the cylinders. It's a carefully engineered network of components working together to keep your engine running smoothly and efficiently. In this video, we'll take a detailed look inside your car's fuel system. By the end, you'll understand every part and exactly how fuel travels from the tank to the engine. Before we dive into the details, let's get a big picture view. Your fuel system relies on 6 main components working in harmony. Fuel tank stores the fuel safely. Fuel pump delivers fuel from the tank to the engine. Fuel filter removes dirt and impurities from the fuel. Fuel lines carry fuel through the system. Fuel rail supplying fuel to the injectors. Fuel injectors spray precise amounts of fuel into each cylinder for combustion. Now, let's follow the journey of the fuel step by step. Everything starts in the fuel tank, which stores gasoline safely and supplies it to the engine as needed. But this isn't just a simple container. Modern fuel tanks come with some smart engineering. First, there's the fuel pickup tube that extends into the tank. Notice it doesn't reach the very bottom? That's intentional. It helps prevent sediment and water from entering the fuel system. Then there's the fuel level sensor, which tells your dashboard how much fuel is left. It works like a float connected to a variable resistor. Here's something many don't know about: the vapor recovery system. This captures fuel vapors, preventing them from escaping into the atmosphere, an important environmental feature built right into your car. Next up is the powerhouse of the system, the fuel pump. In most modern cars, this electric pump is located right inside the fuel tank. Why inside the tank? 3 key reasons: it's cooled by the surrounding fuel, it stays primed to avoid losing suction, and it operates much quieter than external pumps. This little pump generates serious pressure, typically between 40 and 60 psi in most fuel injection systems, about 4 times the pressure in your tires. Older carbureted engines used mechanical pumps driven by the engine, but electric pumps offer better control and reliability. Moving on to the fuel filter. Though it may look simple, it's doing vital work inside your fuel system. Special filter media traps dirt, rust, and other contaminants that could damage your expensive fuel injectors. A clogged filter is a common cause of poor engine performance. It restricts fuel flow, starving the engine. Manufacturers typically recommend replacing it every 30,000 to 50,000 miles, but if you often fill up at questionable gas stations, consider changing it more frequently. The fuel lines act like highways for your gasoline. But there's more complexity here than you might expect. Most vehicles have two fuel lines, a supply line delivering fuel to the engine, and a return line sending excess fuel back to the tank. This system keeps pressure consistent and prevents vapor lock. These lines are specially designed to handle fuel pressure and resist damage from gasoline and ethanol blends. Modern cars feature quick connect fittings, making maintenance easier and preventing leaks. Finally, we reach the fuel rail, the distribution hub feeding fuel to each cylinder. The fuel pressure regulator keeps pressure just right for optimal injection. Too little pressure leads to poor performance, while too much wastes fuel and increases emissions. Each fuel injector is a precision solenoid valve, opening and closing thousands of times per minute. In some high-performance engines, injectors fire multiple times per cycle to improve fuel mixing and combustion even further. Before we end, let's look at some key requirements of the fuel system. Fuel storage in the tank. Delivery of the required amount of fuel under consistent pressure. Delivery of fuel without bubbles. Fuel filtering to remove impurities. Creating and maintaining the necessary fuel pressure. Safe fuel distribution throughout the system. Precise timing and moment of fuel injection. Injecting the appropriate amount of fuel for efficient combustion. Proper fuel spray during injection for better mixing. Returning excess fuel back to the tank. Preventing fuel vapor emissions from the tank to protect the environment. Every component of the fuel system plays a crucial role in keeping your engine efficient and reliable.
Transmission, the power controller. Here's a secret most people don't understand. Engines don't directly match wheel speed, so we need a system that translates power. That system is the transmission. Think of it like gears on a bicycle. The low gear is easy to start and requires more force, while the high gear creates faster speed and less force is needed. Without transmission, your car would either be too weak to move or too unstable at speed. So the transmission is basically the translator between engine power and wheel movement. Wheels, brakes, and control. Wheels don't just roll. They are controlled systems. Brakes work by friction. Pads clamp onto metal discs, hence slowing the car down. Suspension absorbs road impact so the car doesn't shake violently. Steering systems control direction by adjusting wheel angles precisely. And modern cars even correct your mistakes automatically using sensors. Modern cars, computers on wheels. Modern cars are no longer just mechanical machines, they are computers. They contain ECUs, electronic control units. These systems monitor speed, engine temperature, wheel traction, braking force, steering angle, and adjust everything instantly. If your wheels start slipping, the car corrects it. If the engine overheats, it reduces performance. The car is constantly thinking. Electric cars, the new era. Electric cars remove fuel and explosions completely. Instead, batteries store energy and motors convert electricity into motion. No combustion, no pistons, no fuel injectors. Just direct energy conversion that makes them quieter, more efficient, and simpler mechanically. But also introduces new challenges like battery storage, charging speed, and energy density. Why cars matter? Cars didn't just change transport, they changed civilization. Cities expanded, trade increased. Travel became normal and economies grew. Without automobiles, modern life would collapse. So the next time you sit in a car, remember this: you are not just moving. You are controlling explosions, mechanical motion, energy conversion, and computer systems, all working together in perfect synchronization. A car is not just a machine. It is one of the greatest engineering systems ever created by humans, and now you understand it. Thank you for watching. Do well to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.